Hello, Jimmy. How you doing? Well, this is our humble little manufacturing plant of where we glue the mesh onto the extrusion. And what we're going to show you is exactly how to do that. And we'll also show you how to use that special cart that we gave you, because that's very important on how you stack the extrusion with the wet glue on it so it can dry perfectly without the glue sticking to the other piece of extrusion that sits on top of it. So what we're going to start off now is just show you that we pull the extrusion out of the wooden crates, and then we pull that extrusion out and we bring it over to the table. And at the table, you'll see that we very carefully insert the mesh into the grooves of the extrusion. And as you can see, it's just a small little cradle that holds the mesh. And he cuts the little piece, show him that piece. And he cuts that first piece off because it always tends to be a little bent. And when you're putting the mesh on top of the extrusion, you can see that you can stack the extrusion pieces one on top of each other. So he puts the mesh into the extrusion grooves and slides it all the way down. And as you can see, hold it before you do that. And as you can see, the wood holds it flush with the end of the extrusion. And then what he does in order to cut it, he pulls it back a little bit. And after they do that, then they take the extrusion that has the mesh on it and they take it to another station where our worker then applies the glue all along the groove so it firmly adheres to the mesh and the groove together. Jaime is going to show us how you carefully glue a bead of caulking all along the groove so it adheres nicely into the groove.
The amount of caulking, I gotta change the tube. Yes, I cut them all at 45-degree angle, so the bead comes out with the same size. I'll change the tube, I make sure it's straight with the gun. It's straight with the gun, we tie it up. There's a little tip here, I gotta remove it. I got this special paper that I do. Let's take the tip off. Break the inside. Fill out the tube. Clean it, always clean it. Because you don't want the glue on it or you're gonna leave it on the mesh. It has to be clean. Now we're ready.
And then once everything is glued together, the entire piece of mesh is glued, then what we do is we take that piece of extrusion with now the wet glue on it and we put that on the cart. And as you can see here, we're very careful on how we put the extrusion with the wet glue on the cart. And it's very important of why we have the certain angles on the cart, because the extrusion needs to be set in just the right level or just the right angle, so one piece offsets the other piece just a little bit so the glue doesn't stick to the piece of extrusion that sits on top of it, which is very important.
When I got up to at least 400 feet glue already, I put a divider to start another stack.
Well, that's about it, Jimmy. If you got any questions, please send me an email and I will answer them promptly. Thanks.